Hi, welcome to Just Ask Sherry. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm going to talk a little bit about aging today and the things that come along with it. Aging is not for sissies, as we say, and we just have to pull up our big girl pants and take it. There are a lot worse things, and we can always say, I'm just having hair problems. I did another video a little earlier today, and I've got this piece of hair sticking out and it just won't come down, but forgive me. So I'm going to try to tuck it behind. Anyway, I just wing it. Like I just, that's one of the great things about getting older is you care less about the things that don't matter. And that's what I love is like the things that used to bother me when I was in my 20s and 30s and 40s and even in my 50s, they just don't bother me anymore. It just doesn't matter. I don't wear nearly as much makeup as I used to, and I don't care. One of these days I'll do a video and I'll put on full makeup and you'll see, I can dress myself up and look much different and better, I guess, if you want to call it that. But I don't care as much as I used to when I was younger because they're not the important things in life. The important things in life are our health and our family and finding the really good things in life. And I've got as many, well, I shouldn't say as many. I have health problems. I can start from my head and go down to my toes. I have an acoustic neuroma, which for those of you who don't know what that is it's a benign tumor in my ear. I've had it radiated, which was in itself kind of humorous, where I had to go to the radiologist and they had to build this cage that they put around my head. And then my poor husband who goes through all of this with me, and they actually had to drill 4 holes in my head and then screw this contraption onto my head. And he said it was like as they screwed the screws into my head in order to put this contraption on me. And he said it was horrible. To him, I didn't feel a thing because I was anesthetized. And then they put this other, like cage on top of your face and put you on a conveyor that puts you into this machine. And then they radiated me. And thank God it worked. And I have to go back once a year for an MRI to make sure it hasn't grown. The other alternative to that would have been to have surgery to remove it. There are varying schools of thought apparently about which is the better way to go, but that's what my doctors decided. The downside of all of this is I do have a significant hearing loss on my right side. So I tend to talk to people like this, which when they don't know that I have this, I guess they wonder what in the heck I'm doing. But it is what it is. I do have a hard time when there's a lot of background noise in hearing what people are saying to me. And hearing aids won't solve the problem. So I say what a lot. And when people have repeated themselves 2, 3, or 4 times, I just pretend I know what they've said. And I shake my head a lot. And I kind of, okay, whatever. And then I have very dry eyes and I have a couple of different drops that I have to use for that. And so, I kind of just live with that and that's the way it goes. And of course, I'm a type 1 diabetic, which a lot of you know because you watch my other videos. So I live with that. And because I'm type 1 diabetic, I have dry skin and I have some, even though I keep my sugar in very tight control, as my doctor says, some people don't take care of themselves at all and they never have any problems. And some people take care of themselves extremely well and they still get problems. And I have neuropathy in my hands and my feet. And I do a lot of natural supplements in the B categories, B1, B12, blah, 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 blah. But I do have neuropathy and I just live with that because, what am I going to do? I've had hip replacement. I've had back surgery because I had, what did I have? I had stenosis and scoliosis and sciatica, all the S's. And I had a ruptured disc, no, not a ruptured disc, a herniated disc and a bulging disc. And so they took out 2 discs, put in titanium and put pins and rods in 5 levels of discs. And I've had bursitis and that I've had to have steroid injections for, and I have tendonitis in both shoulders and my knees are not in such good I just, the list goes on, and I have tendonitis in my shoulders and, balance issues from the acoustic neuroma. And I don't know, the list goes on. So, it is what it is. That's what comes. But I know people who are a lot younger than me who have a lot more problems than me. So I kind of just take it with a grain of salt. With that, I'm going to ask you to go down and like and share, or not like and share, like and subscribe to my channel. That'll help me to help you, that you'll keep coming back, and that I'll be able to keep making these videos. And as you can see, I try to take all of this with a sense of humor, because the alternative is to be miserable. I don't want to be a miserable person. I mean, sometimes my poor husband, he takes my misery, because that's where I'm most miserable, is to my husband, like he takes the brunt of when I'm unhappy or I'm in pain. Maybe my kids sometimes, feel it, but to the general world, with the exception of maybe my closest friends, most of the world doesn't know that I go through all of that. I try to keep a happy face, because I know there are so many people who are so much more, they're worse off than I am, and they have tough lives, and I do not. I have a great family, I have a great support system, I have a great job, I have a great life, thank God. I really can't complain. I have God in my life, and that helps, because I know He won't give me more than I can handle, one day at a time. And I've kept off 120 pounds for 17 years, which helps, not having that weight on my body makes moving around a lot easier for me, because I don't know if I could do it without that. And I have a very dear friend, and she's very public about this, so I wouldn't talk about it if she wasn't. But she is, I think, 47 or 48 at this point, and she was diagnosed with ALS at, I think, 44 or 45, and she got married when she was 37 and had 3 children. And then when her youngest was, I believe, I don't know, maybe 3, she was diagnosed with ALS, and it was a very progressive ALS, and within a short period of time was in a motorized wheelchair, and a short period of time had no more mobility. And another short period of time after that, had to have the children taken out of the house because they couldn't be cared for. And recently, maybe 2 months ago, had to have a tracheotomy put in because she could no longer keep her head up to breathe. And she's stuck in, I don't remember if it's a hospital or a nursing home, because they cannot find a third shift nurse to stay with her, because she needs somebody 24/7 to make sure she's breathing. And that's a tragedy. What I have is not a tragedy. What she has is a tragedy. I get emotional because that's a tragedy. And she needs help. And we pray for a miracle, that they'll find a cure for this. Even at her late stage, we never give up hope. There's a fund for her. It's called the Chesed Fund, THECHESSED Fund. It is a tax-deductible donation to help keep her going in her home. And she's always keeps, she's able to use one of those computerized boards where she could spell out what she wants to say. And she always keeps, she said, this is what God gave me. And I don't know why, but it is. And this is, what I have to accept and go on with. And she keeps a bright attitude. And that's a hardship, and that's a tragedy, and that's a test. And so I have to keep my sense of humor about what my ailments are, because they are nothing in comparison to what she goes through. So I really think to myself, I have nothing in comparison. So with that, I think to myself, I love my friend. Her name is Laura Ellis, and she's incredible. And I dedicate this to her for going through what she goes through, because mine is nothing in comparison. And I hope you will all keep that in mind when you have your aches and pains from aging or from diabetes. and know that there is always someone out there with a bigger test to take. And, you know, we just have to grin and bear what we have. And I wish you all the very best. And I hope that you will like and subscribe to my channel and keep a stiff upper lip and get through it and keep your numbers low and do what you have to do to make life good. And send me any questions you have either through comments or email me at justasherrie, SHERRIE @gmail.com. And I hope you keep coming back. Thanks for your time.